Well, you guys, we got some big news today. What's up, guys? My name's Ben. I'm one of the digital media producers here at S3 Magazine, and welcome to another episode of the Lifted Civic build. In today's episode, we've got some very awesome news related to the car. It is sitting up here beside me, and it's up in the air, and we actually have the engine and transmission mounted up in the car. It is sitting up there on its own, thanks to our sponsors at Hasport. Hasport is the largest manufacturer of Honda and Acura engine swap kits. They make mounts for just about any Honda or Acura. We're talking EG Civics, EK Civics. They do everything, Integras, Civics, Accords, you name it. If you want to swap in a B series, K series, or do a more traditional swap, they got everything at their disposal to get you everything that you possibly could ever need to complete your swaps. Thank you so much again to the guys over at Hasport for providing these mounts for this build. We really could not do this without them. They've been such a huge just cheerleader since day one of this build, and we're just so glad to have them on board. And now we can finally announce them as a sponsor. We've been waiting for a few weeks now at least, and here they are. We've got these, and you can see, let's just take a look at these a little bit closer. The poly mounts in this, I actually got to spec and pick the absolute softest poly. I can push it in a little bit with my fingers even, to just provide us with a little bit softer of a ride and help cut down on any noise, harshness, and vibration in the car. These are going to do an absolutely great job. Just like looking at all of the machining here on all of the faces of all of the mounts and just how everything's put together so wonderfully. These guys really know about everything that they're doing. So again, thank you to you guys over at Hasport for sponsoring this episode. So a couple of things on this swap. Obviously we've got it in. We've got basically the whole engine and transmission sitting on the transmission mount and also on the driver's side engine mount. We've been provided with brackets to fit everything in and accommodate everything. It bolted pretty much straight up without any hesitation. We got it up there actually from the bottom up. This was sitting kind of on the ground. We snuck the engine in on a creeper on the ground and kind of got it into position. And then we used this engine hoist above my head to lift it up into the engine bay. And then we also kind of finagled it a little bit with this jack here to kind of position everything, and finally got it sitting just about perfect, and bolts glided straight into their homes, and all the hardware that's included with the kit that we got too. It matches the same sheen and shine that you get on all of the mounts, which is really awesome. I've never actually done a swap before. This is my first true like swap ever in a car. So to see the level of craftsmanship and quality that we're seeing with this stuff is just, it's awesome. I see why guys do it, you know. Just seeing the end result of all of this is totally wild. Totally like not something that I was expecting. Like obviously I know it's a swap and you're gonna have really shiny components like this, but man, seeing it on the car is just on a whole other level. Our biggest concern was that the drive shaft was not going to fit. With this all-wheel drive transmission where it comes out at the snout for the rear-wheel drive and the drive shaft, we've looked at forums. Again, nobody's really done this exact swap before, so it's kind of hard to look and judge with a critical eye at forums online. But we can now say with 100% certainty that this will work. I'm looking at it right now. It looks amazing. It has plenty of clearance. Again, thanks to our other sponsors over at HRG for getting us that subframe kit with all the bolts. That's helping with the angles of everything geometrically to where we're not impacting the subframe or anything like that. It's actually all leveled out, so it's a one-to-one drop down. Everything, the motor and all the mounts, everything drops. So we're not running into any issues. I didn't think we'd have any major issues. We were talking about possibly having to cut the subframe up a little. We were doing some math, but really on the ground, we couldn't 100% tell until we really got it up inside of the car and can finally tell for ourselves that yes, everything works as intended. So right now, our next steps are going to include putting on the compressor, putting on all of the accessory belts, drive belt, just everything back together, putting the axles in, putting, you know, like the transmission lines in, the cooler, everything. Once we get it all in with all the brackets and all the other remaining pieces of the Hasport mount kit in there. Once that's all in, we'll put all new fluids in it, fire it up and see how it goes. But before we do that, the one thing that's kind of got us thinking a little bit at least is the transmission lever. So when you go to shift into drive, park, neutral, this has got a cable, and this cable is completely different from the D series that we pulled out to the B series that is now in. So the existing shifter cable is way too long to go up in here, and it's a different mount style. So I'm not sure if we're going to have to pull the other one off and modify it to fit, because if you remember, the CRV has a column shifter, whereas this one has the shifter right here where I want it at, and I really don't want to have to go and completely tear out dashes just to have a column shifter. So that's going to be a very interesting workaround here in the near future. I'd like to give another huge shout out to Slightly Mangled. Over on Jake's channel, there's going to be a whole lot more content on how we got to this point right now with all the subframe install. There's a bunch of videos live with a lot more detailed steps as to what's going on with this, and I really can't wait for this video to go up onto his channel. This was a really fun one, and to see it all in the car now is like totally amazing. So if you're not subscribed over at the Slightly Mangled YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed over there. There is a link down in the description below as always. And again, if you're not already subscribed here to the magazine, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You know, we'll be notifying you whenever we upload more videos. Go check out some of our other videos or past videos on this thing to kind of get caught up if you haven't. And thanks again for watching. We really appreciate you guys, and take care. Later.